Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. And if it's your first time here, I'm Janetta, an author who loves to draw. On my channel, I focus on combining storytelling with art. If that's something you're interested in, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let's get to it. Now that we wrapped up Life on Fire, I thought it would be a good idea to have an author chat with my sister, national best-selling author Karen Bradley. Welcome, Karen.
Thanks for having me.
I thought the subscribers would be interested to know our process of writing and how we came up with Life on Fire. So I thought it would be a good thing for us to chat about our process. So let's jump right into it. What led to the idea for us to co-write Life on Fire?
You had stopped writing, and I thought you needed a project to kind of flame the fires of your love for writing again. So I thought it would be nice to co-write a book with you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. How was the overall experience writing with me?
A little frustrating.
No. How so?
Because when I got an idea rolling, I would turn it over to you, and then I'd be like, is she going to turn it back to me soon? And sometimes I would have to wait longer than I wanted to.
Gotcha. Well, like you said, I was struggling a little bit with the writing process at the time, so it was taking me a little longer to get back to you. My overall experience, I enjoyed it, but I felt like I wasn't contributing enough because I was struggling. So I felt like I was slowing the process down and not contributing enough to the storyline. Best thing, is there anything that you enjoy writing with me?
I think it was interesting, the curveballs that you threw me. Like when I get the story back, I had one storyline in my head and I was trying to get back to it, and then you would write something. I was like, oh, now where am I going from here?
Okay. Well, let's tell the people what really happened.
What do you mean what's really happened?
We started off in sync writing, but I think along the line it came a game of, can I challenge her or can I trip her up? Do you agree to that?
I don't agree with that.
You don't?
I don't agree.
Okay. I felt like she would send me scenes that she knew I didn't want to write or that was challenging to me. Like that, she knows how I write and she knows what I write about, but she gonna say, we're gonna test her today. Did that or did that not occur?
I don't think that occurred.
Oh, okay. And then in response to that, I said, okay, bet. This is what we gonna do. And so I would write and get up to a point where I thought, okay, she doesn't like writing these kind of things, so I'm gonna toss this back to her.
So I'm starting to think that you may have started it because it was in your head that I was doing that. And now
maybe so. But it wasn't a coincidence that all the scenes I didn't like to write, you sent to me. I just feel that way. So, okay. So in Life on Fire, Brooklyn is torn between two loves, Hunter and Dante. Do you think the fact that one of us was Team Hunter and the other was Team Dante played a factor in how hard it was for her to choose?
I believe so. Because I think each of us kind of wrote the qualities that we wanted her and the way we wanted her to go, and we weren't exactly agreeing on it.
Right. Okay, so with that, what would you say is the overall theme of Life on Fire?
I think the overall theme is trying to figure out what it is that you want in life and picking the best situations to enhance it. Because sometimes you have two excellent choices, but you have to figure out what's the best for you in the long run.
So in this case, her choices were between two guys, but she loved both, but she felt differently about each one. So in this scenario, she is trying to choose which of those men would fit into the life she was trying to lead. Is that?
Yeah, because it's all, while it's about the here and now, it's also about where you're trying to head and who can be the best partner for where you're trying to go. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes you love people, but they're not a good match for your future.
Oh, true. That's true. That was a gem. Thank you. So Brooklyn has some interesting friends. What do you think her friendship said about her?
That she's an interesting person, because I feel like every friendship brings out a certain aspect of who you are, and sometimes you can't see it, but you relate to it. Mm-hmm. And one fashion another, but it's harder to see on yourself.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. This is the one I really wanted to ask. So, if Lang and Brooklyn were allowed to come to blows, who do you think would have won the fight?
I think it would have been interesting because my first thought would have been Lang. But Brooklyn got a little hood in her.
Mm-hmm.
So she may have pulled out a few punches that we weren't expecting. So I think it would have been toe-to-toe till somebody had to pull them apart.
Okay. Well, my thought was, at first, I think, because Brooklyn would have gotten a jump, but I think Lang would have, with her expertise, would have figured out how to come out on top, but that's just my opinion. There were a couple of scenes where I was mad at Brooklyn because I felt like the one she chose, she didn't exactly commit and do right all the way until it was obviously she needed to. How did you feel about that situation?
But I feel like that's reality. There's a lot of times when you know something is not right for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the reasons. Like you've been in this cycle before, but it's hard to break that cycle and try something new.
Do you think Brooklyn chose the right man?
In the moment, she probably did, but you never know until you get further down the road, unfortunately, with anything you choose. You only know the factors that are in play when you make that decision, and there are things that come along in life that may have you reevaluating. So at this point in time in her life, I believe that in that point, she did.
Mm-hmm.
But who's to say down the road that she may still feel that way?
Okay. So you've been writing for a few. How many years do you think?
Don't make me count.
Okay, but it's been a while, right?
Yes.
What advice would you give to authors who want to co-write a book?
First, I would say make sure your styles of writing match, in the sense like it will not work if I'm a fly-by-night, don't need an outline person, and you need to plan.
Mm.
I think whatever strategy y'all have for writing, y'all need to agree on. And then set a timeline. Like, you have this much time and I need it back. That way, it doesn't get lost in whatever going on in each author's life.
Okay, I hear you.
I'm just saying. Because, I mean, you're not the only one I've wrote a book with. Mm-hmm. And it's happened again. It's just like, okay, I done got this to you. I need it back, because for me, I write in grooves. So if I'm in a groove, mm-hmm. I need you to do your part and get it back to me before I lock. Otherwise, I'm going to be the one taking a while getting it back to you.
Okay.
So if we can kind of get it where we're in each other's flow, then it could go better than both of us struggling because our timing is off.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. For me, I don't, and this may sound weird, but I don't think I would want to write another book outside of writing one with you or anyone else, and I'll tell you why. What I struggle with is I like to control my characters, and sometimes they go rogue on their own, but when they go rogue on their own plus somebody else has control on, it's harder for me to stay in line with the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where should I go next? With you, because I know you're writing, I can kind of go with the flow. But I think unless I have that with another author, I don't know if I could share that space.
Yeah, I can see that because I have a story that's in a series, and sometimes when I see other people writing my characters, I'm like, that's not quite what my character would do. But you know what I'm saying? It's harder to control your vision of your character when somebody else is writing it.
Gotcha, yeah. That's definitely how I see it. Like, I just feel like it's so much, because it's, the way I like to write is a joy, in the sense that I'm being free, and I get excited when the characters go rogue, and I'm trying to guide them, but it's the story has caught on. But if there's other factors in there that takes it too far from where I'm going, then I get frustrated. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to write in frustration. So is there anything else you want to say about Life on Fire before I ask my final question?
I think that personally, I like the fact that if somebody says it's predictable, I'm like, you're good because I didn't know what's coming.
Right. I could be what I didn't know,
So I think that's one of the elements I do like about how we wrote it, is that it made it hard to be predictable, at least to me, because I had an idea in my head, I had a storyline in my, and I'm like, but I got to turn it over to you, and then you throw me a curveball, and now I'm like, ooh, I got to flip it. How, and it kept going like that. So I felt like it made the story a little bit more exciting, because it couldn't be as predictable as what you thought, because some of the breadcrumbs had to shift and change.
Right. I agree with that, because you would think you could guess, but because of those changes, because I think I killed off one of the characters before I should have, but we'll leave it there. But it made it where it was less likely to be predictable.
Yes.
Okay. Final question. Where can you be found on social media, and what are you currently working on?
I can be found at Miss_K Bradley on Twitter and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently working on book 2 of Cameron Stone's story. Let's just say it's a mix of a female John Wick meets Equalizer.
Okay, can't wait. Well, tell me about the first book. You said this.
The first book, Cameron, the main character, is a hired gun, a con artist, and a thief, but she's retiring until she finds out that her cousin is in trouble and is working with a crime lord. And then she decides to go in to get him to make sure he's safe.
And where can they find that book? What's the name of it?
It is Transition to Power, and it's available on Amazon and most platforms.
Very good. Well, until we write again, I want to thank you for coming on, and subscribe if you have any questions for Karen or me. Put them in the comments below, and we'll try to get them as soon as we can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed today's story. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, be and stay blessed.